Greetings. Welcome to the Big and Tall Movie Review Show. It's April 17th, 2013. And we're here to review movies. I'm RC. With me as always,
Big Red's
Big
in
Red,
the house. Yeah.
Maximus.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going a little gloomy outside. Kind of keep the summer clothes in the drawer. It's going to be a while, kids. All right, we're this is kind of like a F5 refresh day here with the movies we're looking at, because one's a story of a history that's been done a lot that's kind of been refreshed, and the other one we're going to do is the movie that's been refreshed. We've talked about it, the 1981 classic Evil Dead being remade, and it came out on April 5th. And we're going to do a review of it, and it stars Jane Levy, Jessica Lucas, and
A bunch of other people you've never heard
Shiloh
of.
Fernandez.
And Lou Taylor Pusey.
Yes.
And not Bruce Campbell.
But that's all right.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to go ahead and give you a clip. We've been talking about this one in kind of an anticipation for a while. I know Maximus has been ready for this one, huh?
Oh, yeah, I was very excited for it.
So let's go ahead here. This is the trailer for The Evil Dead.
Please. You have to get me out of here. Leave this book alone. No. You don't understand. There was something in the woods. And I think it's in here with us now. You're all going to die tonight.
I read a passage from that book. I released something evil.
Now, if that doesn't put some chill in your cockles, I don't know what else would there, folks. That sounds pretty scary. All right. And, I'm always a big fan of the original, huge fan of the shoestring budget original. Very intense trailer there, Max. What can you give us about Evil Dead?
Oh, well, when I went and saw it, I tried really hard not to over anticipate,
Don't want to get too excited or just
just have overblown expectations of it, and it really didn't disappoint. I thought it was serious without being too serious, and there was a lot of scares, although it kind of stayed more towards the theatrical.
Yeah,
it
looked like
trying to get really psychological.
It would look a little high production, high end. Looks like they'd really glossed it up. I mean, it looked, but I like the theatrical horror.
There was a higher budget.
Yeah, much. Yeah, so I mean,
that wouldn't take much, would it, to be a higher budget?
But I mean, yeah, putting a new gloss on an old story or an old idea.
There was they changed the story quite a bit with the characters and whatnot. They took Ash completely out of it and replaced the lead with the female character instead, which it worked out. It really, I thought, and they kind of actually gave them a reason for being at the cabin, which they didn't really have in the first movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Weren't they trying to rehab a girl or something?
Yeah, they were out there for the Jane Levy was struggling with sobriety with some different things.
Intervention.
Oh,
Yes,
and then
and it was her family's cabin, so the cabin actually had some history with one of the characters. So
I see.
it wasn't just a random cabin that they decided to go have a soiree in.
But yeah, just say we're showing up with beers and chicks. That's the way they made it. That's the way it was back in the early '80s with the
And they changed the story a bit, but they managed to include all the classic elements with the Necronomicon. And
That's one to ask you about the Book of the
little
Dead.
dendrophilia going on.
Good. So they kind of kept with that whole premise, and
there was plenty of jumping moments.
it was a lot of this director, Fede Alvarez or whatever. It looks to me like he used a lot of the traditional Raimi techniques as far as the
He did.
through the woods. I mean, like I said, it's glossed over, but you still got that old school feel to it.
They definitely had the camera rushing through the woods style going on, which was very pleasing.
Vine-eating
they had that
stuff,
going on
yeah.
from the very first frame of the movie, which would be pleasing to anyone who's a fan of the old ones, and also try to be informative without giving too much of the movie away. But there is one scene where a character is just repeatedly throwing himself up against a shelf, as Bruce had to do so many times with the original movies.
They probably used a little CGI this time instead of just Bruce taking the bruises.
I don't know. It looked like they got
pretty bad.
Looked like they
I
got
think
pretty
there was
gritty
a lot
with
of
it.
practical effects in this. I don't
Really?
think it was-
Straight up, huh?
Yeah.
That's good.
And the actors were very committed.
committed to their role.
So
And this Jane Levy, I mean, from what I'm reading, I mean, she plays an awesome Deadite and everything else in it. She looks pretty intense. I mean,
her overall performance I thought was just great, and the Deadites, they didn't actually call them Deadites.
Oh,
at
I'm
any
sorry.
point, but no. Everyone should know what a Deadite is. But it was very good. I would say I'm giving it 4.5 out of 6 cans.
And so if you were to, I guess on a different level, if you were, a few years down the road, I want to watch Evil Dead, I want to watch 81, I want to watch 2013, I guess you'd probably just say what mood you felt like. I mean, I guess.
Yeah, if you're in more of a vintage mood, you can always bust out the old Bruce DVD. And the good thing about these movies is that they're short enough to do a double feature in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and the original really wasn't a Bruce movie. It was more of just
no, not until like halfway through. He was the last one left.
Yeah, but anyway, as it didn't take off, it took off much more obviously in the second one in his style that way.
But I would say go see it because, in my opinion, it's probably my favorite remake that's been done in recent memory. Or possibly the best since John Carpenter did The Thing back in.
Oh, well, that's high praise. Yeah, they they seem to redo the Chainsaw Massacre every 5 minutes, so it's kind of.
I know, I'm tired of those.
So where do you see them going with the Evil Dead franchise off of this movie?
I mean, many people don't think they're going to make a lot of sequels off this, do you?
It would be nice if they let this one be, because it was really enjoyable, I thought. I think if they try to come back with more big budget sequels, that it's just gonna ruin it,
stupefy it all.
So you don't see this ever like interconnecting if they would ever decide to do another Ash movie. You wouldn't see these two worlds interconnecting or anything.
I hope they don't. But on another note, I would like to see Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell team back up for an Evil Dead 4. Although whether or not that happens, it's still a pretty big
even if they could call it something different. This original story though, that the remake, it's cool to see him do this again. With the go back and just was my original idea or Raimi's original idea that they wrote as kids or whatever, and then here we go, we got it out and have glossed it up and made it good without let's start slapping a bunch of sequels on it. But they probably will. I mean,
if they do another Sam Raimi Evil Dead movie, it would be nice if they just kept it simple too. I mean, I know they'll have a huge budget for it, obviously, but story-wise, it'd be nice if they just came back and had Ash still working at the S-Mart.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it seems like Raimi and Campbell they get it. They kind of get what the fans want, and I think they would know.
They know how to be respectful.
Some people will argue this is kind of a cash grab for those guys too. I don't want to all praise them on it. I mean, it's their old story that they're remaking.
Well, and they were producers on this, too.
They're producers on it.
Yeah,
but
Campbell auditioned a lot of the actors, and hey, Bruce.
But at the same time,
yeah,
But at the same time, it's good to have a new generation see this style and maybe lead them back to seeing the older ones. You know, that's what they're doing with this, and that's kind of my point on it.
Right, and you gotta remember that they're kind of answering the fans, because the people have been begging them to do these things for.
Well, it'd be nice for other people to realize Bruce Campbell's not just the guy from Burn Notice.
Or something like that. And hey, Raimi, shoot, he can. you think about it. You go record make like I used to do music and stuff. I recorded songs. I get, someday down the road, you want to go back and do those songs much better. That's kind of what, or gloss them up or something. He's got every right to do that if he wants.
Just a quick aside, do you know, does Campbell make a cameo in the Oz movie? Have you heard that Raimi does?
I've heard he does. I believe he's the dude who answers the door at the Oz Palace.
I just was wondering. I thought
twisted mustache.
I thought Max would be the man to ask that.
Yeah, and so. Cans, have you given your cans on this? What would you say?
4.5.
4.5 out of 6.
I would say go check it out.
And I'm not the biggest found footage horror movie fan. I kind of like the traditional theater style, so this would be definitely probably up my alley on something I would like to see.
Yeah, the found footage is.
I wrote a script.
Very hard to pull off.
I wrote a script one time, which I wouldn't want anybody to read, but I thought it would be real good to shoot found footage with it, just because I, couldn't afford real production crew or anything.
Yeah.
But that's about the only, trying to do something.
I think it's really hard to pull out. I mean, for like a big budget movie, most of the time, found footage stuff just doesn't. I don't know.
It fits some genre as well.
Chronicle is probably one of the better found footage ones I've seen.
It was very well done, and but I'm actually a pretty big fan of a lot of the found footage.
Yeah,
movies,
Max
but
is.
there are several big misses.
Cloverfield was all right, but I felt like I was a little seasick by the end of that one.
The special effects in Cloverfield were just off the charts good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So what do we have next? Is there any other big horror remakes on the horizon? Are we getting more Freddy Krueger or Jason coming back? Or
actually, I think pins have kind of been put in both of those guys for the time being. Of course, they've got more Paranormal Activities movies, which I think those have kind of jumped a shark.
I think it's time to bring Chucky back.
Yeah, I don't want Chucky back. No.
If they got Brad Dourif back doing Chucky's voice, I think that could actually be pretty badass.
And I don't want to give anything away, but fans, if you're going to go see Evil Dead, the 2013, the new one, wait till the very end of the film and sit through the credits.
Stay through the credits.
It's worth it.
Yes.
That's all we're going to say about that. Okay, Max is giving 4.5 cans on that one, and that's Evil Dead. Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was going to say, if you have seen it already and didn't stay through the credits, you can go to YouTube.
Yeah,
you'll find it.
Coming.
See, I like the fact that this was R-rated. To me, I'm getting real tired of the PG-13 horrors, where it's so cookie cutter.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Some movies just need to be made.
Yeah, they need
to
let them have it. Let them have it. All right. Well, that's it for our first review here of Evil Dead. We're gonna move on to our next picture. We'll be up on our 15-minute break. We'll see you here in a minute.